Hey everyone, time for a new video devotion for you and your family to share together on this Good Friday. You may remember that Good Friday is the day when we remember Jesus' death on the cross. Millions of Christians around the world will attend what is called a Tenebrae service on this day. And if you were able to tune in to our Maundy Thursday worship service last night, we incorporated a Tenebrae service into that time as we do every year. Tenebrae is the Latin word for shadows or darkness, and the purpose of the service is to observe the time when Jesus was dead and laying in the tomb. This Holy Week, we've been focusing on the suffering that Jesus endured on his way to the cross. That's what the Passion means. But today I want to shift that focus to the suffering the disciples must have felt after Jesus died. First, let's take a look at their actions during the Passion story. Mark's Gospel tells us that when Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, they deserted Jesus. When Jesus was led before the chief priests, Peter was recognized by members in the crowd and, afraid for his life, denied Jesus 3 times, just as Jesus had predicted. Judas, immediately regretting his betrayal of Jesus, committed suicide. And then, nothing. They disappear entirely from the story until after Jesus' resurrection. The next time we see them, some of them are in hiding and others have simply fled Jerusalem. Imagine that you were one of the disciples. Imagine losing someone in your life that you loved and respected so much that you would be willing to follow them to the ends of the earth. What would you do if you felt like that your life was threatened? Would you desert your friend? Would you deny your friend? Or would you betray your friend? If I'm honest with myself, I'm pretty sure that I would try to save my own skin. And then I'd try to justify it by saying, oh, I'll just ask for forgiveness later. I can't keep this Jesus movement alive if I'm dead. But you know, it's very easy to beat yourself up for thinking like that. The truth is, Jesus knew how his disciples would behave. And I suspect he knew how any of us would behave in their shoes. The point is, Jesus still loved them and wanted them to continue the work he was doing. And he loves us too for the same reason. God has very little use for perfect people. And God doesn't need you to be perfect either. You don't have to ever be ashamed if you act like Jesus' disciples. Don't shame yourself for doubting or running away. We all feel like that way sometimes. As long as we're doing our best to learn from these times and to grow, then we become a little closer to God each time. For today's devotion at home, I simply invite you to talk with your families about the times you've suffered because you weren't a very faithful friend. This quarantine might even give you the chance to seek forgiveness and heal from a friend that you've broken trust with. But before we go, I have just a couple of announcements. First, there will be no youth Zoom hangout on Easter Sunday. We always like to take that time to celebrate the resurrection with our families, and I encourage you to do something particularly special in this special time. Monday, video devotions will come back. I have no idea if I'm going to have some kind of theme yet. I know you're on pins and needles about that, but I do have exciting news. From time to time, you might start getting a devotion from one of your small group leaders that we used to have on Sunday nights. You'll get to hear from someone besides me for a change, so I know that will be an added bonus. But until that time, I wish you a blessed Easter. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay home if you're able, and feel free to find a friend with whom you can share this devotion. I'll see you soon.